Greetings, everyone, and welcome to my channel, Take Control of Your Health. I'm Dr. Corey Stern. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I do recommend that you check out the other videos on this channel because I do occasionally refer to things that I've said before. And watching all of them, you get a much bigger picture of what's really happening right now in relation to health in the world and what you can do about it. And if you've been tuning in all along, welcome back. Today's topic is called, Are You a Stress Mess? And the reason I decided to do this is because I just have so many people reaching out to me who are complaining about feeling stressed right now. I myself have been feeling more stressed than normal, and I already have a pretty stressful life. I will tell you a little bit about my life because I'm going to use myself as an example. But there is right now, today's September 29th, 2020, and there's a lot of things going on in the world, and that's causing people to be more stressed than usual. So people are already very stressed, and now they're feeling worse than ever. So I want to talk to you about two things regarding stress. One is what stress really is, and maybe some techniques that you can use to do something about it. And I'm not going to teach you techniques for handling it, but I'll give you some ideas or suggestions. But the second part, and the area that I have my most expertise in, is how nutrition relates to stress. And we'll go into some detail on that. And I just have to help my dog who's trying to jump up and sit next to me. Come on. Come on. Go ahead. Okay. All right. I've got dogs here with me today, so it is possible at any point dogs might interfere or interrupt my filming. So, and I did actually download a video editing app and have not had time to look at it. I'm actually paying money for it, and I haven't even been able to look at it and figure out how to use it. So I want to talk a little bit about what stress actually is, give you a definition of stress. And the definition that I use is any event, whether actual, real, or imagined, a thought, that causes one to feel threatened or in danger, right? So you can experience actual danger, let's say a car about to run you over, that's an actual danger, and experience a stress response, or you can think about a danger, remember a danger that happened to you, or anticipate the possibility of a danger and have that very same stress response. Now, when we're talking about a stress response, we are talking about an actual physiologic reaction that occurs in your body to help you to be able to survive a threat or danger. And a lot of people know that as the fight or flight response, right? So a series of reactions occurs in your body when you're faced with a danger, or even when you're thinking about the possibility of a danger. So, for example, your adrenal glands start producing adrenaline, which starts to speed up some processes in your body, and your heart beats faster, and that way you get more blood into your extremities. So if you have to run or fight, you're stronger, you're faster, your pupils dilate so you can see better, your digestion actually slows down because that's not necessary function to help you survive when you're in danger. So a lot of other physiologic reactions occur, which I did not mention. So while this is a normal response, and it helps you, it's designed to be helpful, it's for survival, the problem with it is when you're not actually in danger, and your body is still having the same response. So let's say you almost get run over by a car and you have a stress response, and it helps you to run across the street more quickly so that you don't end up getting run over by the car. But then that night you're in bed and you're remembering that incident, and you're thinking about the car coming at you, and your body actually will go into that same stress response again. And this is something that happens to many people on a regular basis. So you're remembering something that happened to you. Guys, I thought I told you I'm doing a video now. No barking. Thank you. You're anticipating the possibility of something bad happening. You're worrying about things that might happen, things that you're perceiving as a threat. Okay, and then your body doesn't know the difference. It just keeps having a stress response, and it can become chronic, where you get almost stuck in this chronic stress response. Let me give you an example of something. You're on your way to work, you're driving to work, and if you live in a city like I do, there's traffic, and you get stuck in traffic, and now you're running late, and you're perceiving this as a threat, right? Not necessarily a danger, but a threat. Something bad might happen on the other end. You might get in trouble. Your employer might get upset, or like with me, I might be late for a patient. It's bad customer service. So your body starts having a stress response as if there's an actual threat to you physically, right? And but you're in that situation, in that scenario, you're not running away or fighting. So what are you doing with that stress response, right? You're starting to grip the steering wheel tighter. Now maybe your shoulders end up here, and you start clenching your jaw like that. And your muscles are contracting. That's part of the stress response. And then if you do that long enough, you can end up with a headache. Just demonstrating that right here in the video, all of a sudden I'm having pain there. So it can be a very instantaneous reaction. And some people are just doing that all the time. They're walking around with their shoulders up here and their teeth are clenched all the time. And these are people that routinely have headaches. They get migraines, they get tension headaches, or have pain in their neck or their shoulders all the time, right? So that's one of the things that having a chronic stress response can cause you. Now, the thing about stress is that you can actually change your perception. You can change your way of thinking about things, all right? So just to use another example, you have two people about to jump out of an airplane with a parachute, and one of those people, it's their hobby. They think this is great fun. It's, such a exhilarating feeling for them, and they're, enjoying themselves. And the other person is terrified, and they feel like they're going to die, right? So the actual activity itself is not what's stressful. It is their perception of it, right? You're following me? So you can actually work on changing your perception of things. And that's part of the work that I was referring to, the techniques that you can use. There are so many things out there that are available. You can actually, go search on YouTube for stress management programs. There are many, many different ways of handling that and helping yourself to change the way you think. And that's actually what I did. I had to do this because I have had a very stressful life. I think I talked a little bit about it on my first video, but I had a really, really challenging childhood. And I had to figure out a way to get through my life and survive when I was very, very young. And then when I finally moved away from home and I was out on my own, I got married and I had my first child, and I was only 23, and he was born with a really rare medical disorder. And he ended up needing many, many reconstructive plastic surgeries. He had 18 surgeries, some of them very serious surgeries. And so I was in the hospital with him a lot. I would never leave his side. I would, except for when he was in the OR, but I would just escort him to the OR. I would be there when he came out. I would spend every minute with him. And you can imagine, 23-year-old new mom, and I'm going through this. My son's skull is getting cut open. He's having all this, bleeding and all these, it was just really difficult for me. And there's really nothing more stressful in life than a parent dealing with a child who's suffering. The only thing I can think of that's worse is actually the loss of a child for a parent, but going through having a child with an illness or, having surgeries or suffering is very stressful. So after going through that for so many years, I was pretty much a mess. I was really beat up by it mentally and physically. But I had to still function. I had to still function. I had to take care of my son. And then, in the middle of all that, I decided to go to chiropractic school and I opened my own business. And so I had a, business and I had patients to take care of. And I had to be able to function and be okay. So I did have to teach myself how to think differently, how to change my thoughts, how to actually reconstruct the way I think, and even change some of my beliefs. That's something I might do a whole other video on. It's not necessarily about nutrition, which is what these videos are supposed to be about, but beliefs have a lot to do with how you choose what you eat. Beliefs have a lot to do with your health. So I probably want to address that at some point. But I worked really hard on changing my own thoughts and my own beliefs to help me handle stress better. And then on top of that, when I went to nutrition school and I understood the connection between nutrition and health, and specifically between nutritional deficiencies and how it causes the body to handle stress more poorly, and it causes symptoms related to stress, then I was able to start the process of correcting my own nutritional deficiencies, so that now, even though I still have a pretty stressful life, I still have my special needs son living with me. He's 34. He lives with me and works with me. It's hard to live and work with the same person, and he's a little bit of a handful. He's very, helpful in my office, but he still likes to push my buttons. And, I got my dogs to deal with, and I travel around the country teaching. Well, I'm not traveling right now, but, I taught a Zoom seminar this entire weekend, haven't had a day off in over a week. My voice might sound a little raspy because I've been talking for like days on end. And so on, running my business in New York City, living in New York City, all of those things are really, really stressful, but I can handle it. My body can handle it. I don't fall apart. I don't unravel. I don't have symptoms. I don't have depression, anxiety, insomnia, and other symptoms related to stress. I don't get headaches. I mean, I'm not saying I never get headaches. I'm not saying I never have trouble sleeping, but for the most part, I'm really, very functional. So I do want to talk to you about the relationship between nutritional deficiencies and stress, and figure out what it is that you can do about it right away to help yourself to feel better if you are having difficulty handling stress or relaxing or sleeping or feeling anxious and things like that. So the first thing I want to talk about is minerals. So minerals are one of my favorite topics. I love minerals. I may do a whole video just talking about different minerals and their function in the body, because I think it's so cool. And most people, it's not something that you think about. And you know that you need minerals, right? And let's just name some. Calcium, magnesium, potassium, iron, iodine, zinc, selenium, manganese, copper, right? So those are some of the more common minerals that people know. There are others too. Some of them are macro minerals, meaning you need a lot of it, and some of them are trace minerals, meaning that you don't need too much of it. And if we're going to talk about minerals, first let's explain what they do in your body, right? Because people don't think about it, right? So you think about, calcium is in your bones, and a lot of people know magnesium helps them relax, or it's good for relaxing muscles, but some people know iodine is important for your thyroid to function, and iron is important for your red blood cells, but most people really don't have a full picture of what minerals do, why you need them, and don't know about all of them. So I'm not going to go into each mineral and their specific functions, but let's just say, in general, minerals are like a catalyst. They make systems work. They're like the ignition. They're the starter fluid, so to speak, of all the functions in your body. So every single function in your body is dependent on having minerals available, so that you get, optimal functioning. And I'll just give you one example. So the pituitary gland is a gland in your brain that's kind of like the middle management boss of your endocrine or hormone system. So it communicates with your thyroid, with your reproductive organs, with your adrenal glands, and so on. So it's pretty important, right? It has a lot of functions that are important in your body, your metabolism. So the trace mineral manganese, is one of the minerals that the pituitary gland needs in order to do its job and to behave correctly. And where does manganese come from? And what happens when you don't have enough manganese? So manganese, like all minerals, comes from your food, which the food gets the minerals from the soil. So minerals come from soil. And what happens when you don't have enough manganese in your pituitary? You have symptoms. What kind of symptoms? Well, you could have low thyroid or hyperthyroid, thyroid dysfunction. You can have infertility. You can have something that we see very commonly in young women now, polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS. All kinds of symptoms can occur. I've seen people just getting frequent headaches, having pituitary dysfunction because of a manganese deficiency. So in my world, any deficiency can cause any symptom. Sometimes they don't make any sense at all. You can't trace a symptom back always to a specific, oh, that's because you need more calcium, but sometimes you can. So now, the problem with needing minerals to make everything work is that when you're under stress, all your body systems have a greater demand on them. So they're functioning at a higher level, right? So when you're under stress, like your adrenal glands are pumping out adrenaline, your heart's working harder, your brain is working, everything's working harder. You need more minerals to get all those systems to work harder. And what happens is, sometimes you kind of burn out all your minerals and you end up deficient. And then if you're getting minerals from soil, from the food that grows in the soil, or animals that eat the food that grows in the soil, and you're not eating mineral-rich foods, you are going to have deficiencies. And unfortunately, most people do, because the soils in this country are so depleted in minerals. How do you replete the soil with minerals? The main way is with fertilizer, with natural fertilizer, with manure from animals that are eating mineral-rich foods. So most of the soils in this country, the commercial farms, are fertilized with petroleum-based fertilizer, as we talked about in the last video. If you watch that on organic food, petroleum-based fertilizer or sewage sludge fertilizer that does not put minerals in the soil. So the soil becomes extremely depleted of minerals. Now you're trying to eat good food, you're trying to eat your green leafy vegetables, and thinking you're getting some good quality minerals from them, but it's possible that you're not. And I'm telling you, most people in the United States are mineral deficient. The other part of that problem is you try to replace your minerals by taking supplements, and that may or may not help you, because you don't actually know exactly what you need. You don't know exactly what you're deficient in. You don't know exactly what doses you need. And then you also don't exactly know what is a good quality supplement, because not all supplement qualities are equal, right? So, and by the way, in my opinion, trying to decide what a good quality supplement is based on, looking up reviews or other people's experiences taking them is not necessarily the best way of choosing a supplement for yourself. So people who are suffering from stress-related symptoms like insomnia or depression, anxiety, headaches. Some people have digestive dysfunction, they get ulcers. Some people have pain, they get muscle pain, muscle spasm, all kinds of things that can start going wrong in the body. And then chronic stress can lead to actual disease. A lot of people, what they do to manage their stress is to take substances that will help them. So, for example, they might take medication like anti-anxiety medication or muscle relaxants, or they might use things like marijuana or CBD oil, which is not a medication. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to the people. Okay. His name is Mino, M-I-N-O, not M-E-A-N-O. He's not mean. He's very nice. He's a love bug. So if those things help you, okay, fine. But there's no such thing as a drug without a side effect, and we're going to do a whole series on that. And I know a lot of people use marijuana, and it helps them, but even that causes its own deficiencies and other complications in the body. So the better solution is to correct the underlying deficiency. That's the best solution. With some good quality minerals and eating good quality, nutrient-dense foods grown in good soil. That is really the best thing to do. And you can't necessarily correct deficiencies overnight, because the way the body works is that you should not be putting like high doses. Let's say you're magnesium deficient, and just go ahead and take like thousands of milligrams of magnesium to correct it. That's not going to work. Your body's not going to absorb it. You have to take the doses that are present in nature. That's how we were designed. That's how the body's designed. That's how the whole ecosystem is designed. It's designed perfectly, actually. We just went ahead and, not we didn't, I didn't screw it up, right? The bad guys screwed it all up, and now we have to fix it. So in my practice, I use something called whole food nutritional supplements. So they're actually made out of food. The supplements are made out of food. So you're getting the exact right doses that are biologically compatible with the human body, and they contain all of the components that you need to actually be able to digest and absorb the minerals, because that's a whole other issue, right? You need certain enzymes, and there are factors involved. Minerals and vitamins are complexes. You can't just isolate one part of the complex and put that in your body and hope for the best. That's not ideal. That's not optimal. That's not the way it works. So what I would recommend, I have two suggestions. I can't give medical advice over the internet, but if you're really struggling and you want some help, get in touch with me, reach out, and I will find you a practitioner in your area that uses whole food supplements, and we can, get you a referral. And or if that's not something you're willing or able to do, or there's nobody available, I can at least recommend some whole food minerals for you that might be helpful. Generally, whole food minerals cannot hurt you. They can only help. And it's something that's something I am willing to do if it's really needed, right? To just get you, send you a bottle of minerals. They're not that expensive. The whole food supplements are actually really affordable. So the other thing I just want to mention to you that you could try at home right away is salt. So salt is a mineral, and it's often deficient in people because you've been told by medical doctors and who knows what all else, TV, nonsense, commercials, whatever, that salt is bad, salt causes high blood pressure. So here's the truth. Bad salt is bad, right? The salt that you buy in the supermarket, the salt, you know, the sodium chloride, whatever, Morton's brand, I don't know what the other brand, Red Cross, that's not actual salt. That's processed. Good salt is good for you. Salt that comes from the earth, sea salt, pink Himalayan salt, Celtic, gray salt, whatever, that's good for you. Your body requires salt. You cannot live without salt. That's why your tears and your mucus and all of that is salty. Your body fluids, your blood, everything is salty. Every cell in your body needs salt. Every cell in your body has a sodium channel. Right? Your nervous system needs salt. So if you're salt deficient, you might want to try just taking some salt. Okay, so that's a mineral that you can just take right away. Just get some good quality pink salt or gray salt or sea salt. Put a 1/4 teaspoon in 8 ounces of water and drink that, sip that throughout the day. If it tastes not salty at all, then you're really deficient, all right? So if you do have high blood pressure, this might actually help you, believe it or not, contrary to what you've been told. But if you have high blood pressure and you try my little salt trick and it makes your blood pressure higher, then don't take it. Just don't do that. That's not the right thing for you, okay? But it's worth a try. It's worth a try. Take a little good quality salt. So there's a lot more to say on the topic of stress and nutritional deficiency. There's so much to talk about, but I wanted to at least hit on the minerals because I think that's the number one thing that you need to address first. And there are other things. I might do a part 2 on this because also if you're fat deficient, good fat deficient, that's also going to make your body's ability to handle stress a little bit worse. Your hormones are made out of fat and cholesterol. Your brain needs it. So much of your body function needs fat, and there is a big difference between good and bad fat, and most people have misinformation on that as well. So we will devote a whole video on the topic of fat. Maybe we'll do fat and cholesterol. So I hope this was helpful. Please, if you are enjoying my videos, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe. So just hit the subscribe button, and then you'll see the option to hit a bell that will, and then hit all, and that way you'll get informed when I have downloaded a new video. And also, please like this if you like it, and share it if you know anybody that you think would benefit from hearing this information, because the whole point of doing this is sharing information to help people on our planet who are struggling right now because we're being poisoned, systematically poisoned, to help people not be so sick and so weak and even stupid. We can fix it. We can get control of it. And it is my solemn commitment to try to help as many people as I can with that. So thank you guys. I hope you have a less stressful week, and reach out to me. I do read all your comments, and if you do need any help, I'll do whatever I can within my power to help you.